First part we finished on this chapter. Again we'll come to second part of this chapter. Second part of the chapter is all about non-cooperation. As I told, we'll read the details about the non-cooperation. So first we will know that what is non-cooperation. Non-cooperation is the ideas given by the Mahatma Gandhi. See, in 1909 Mahatma Gandhi wrote a book. That book name is Hindi Swaraj, right? In this Hindi Swaraj book, he wrote about the non-cooperation. What he wrote about non-cooperation? According to Gandhi, the British rule was established in India with the cooperation of Indians and had survived only because of this cooperation. If Indians refused to cooperate, British rule in India would collapse within a year and Swaraj would come. What that means, in Hindi Swaraj book, Gandhiji told, which is written by 1909, which will be important one more question for you also, that Gandhiji told that British people came, they established their empire, they ruled upon us only because of we people gave that opportunity. We people told what about our weakness. We people only gave our unlimited support and cooperation to them. According to Gandhi, if we people will withdraw that support, we people will withdraw that cooperation, then British will back to their country and Swaraj would come. Swaraj means our own administration will come to our own hand. So this is the real meaning of non-cooperation at the time explained in the Hind Swaraj book. The next question will be how Gandhi unfold. Unfold means start. So many students confuse that what was unfold. So how Gandhi unfold the non-cooperation movement, or what was the purpose of Gandhi at that time to start the non-cooperation movement? How? What are the three stages Gandhi told to start the non-cooperation movement? So if that type of question will come, it will be maximum 2 or 3 mark question. I think this time 3 mark question will be there. 2 mark question, very less chances are there to be. I hope in the 10th and 12th that pattern, CBSE pattern of question also came. I will discuss about that one day. So let's see first one thing, that non-cooperation movement, how it's unfold or started. First thing was that Gandhi told that what are the title means awards, just like you can tell that Nightingale also a title, then you can tell it, you see na different type of high awards are there, high awarded titles are there. That only Gandhi told that what are the titles and award government, that British government awarded to the Indians, just return it, just surrender it to them. Second step, what we have to do for the non-cooperation? Boycott. Boycott is a word which will be a 1 mark question for you. Boycott means stop use. In usual word we told, but by definition we will say boycott means the refusal to deal and associate with the people. Refusal means say no, or not to deal with the people, or participate any activities, or to purchase any type of things, or you can take that in the form of protest. You just stop using the steps, stop mingle with the people, and you will make simply no for the British things. So Gandhi told that boycott, stop use of the civil service, army, police, court, legislative assembly, school and foreign goods made by the British. Then in case of government use repression, a full civil disobedience campaign will be launched. So 3 stage. One stage is to surrendering the titles. Second part is all about boycott of British institutions and good. And third stage is all about use the Swadeshi product. Right? Instead of British good, use the Swadeshi product. And if all this repression will not work, then it will be a full-fledged campaign against the British government. Over. So many within the Congress, they didn't understand actually what Gandhi want to tell, because in November 1920 is the time they are going to participate in the council election. In this time period they didn't understand what is going on, what is the mass movement, because before that no mass movement held, not such type of mass movement held. So they are confused. Actually they will go with that, they will went on that flow that is having at the time, or they will try to understand what actually that non-cooperation movement was. That on that time of confusion, on the INC section, Indian National section, December 2020 Nagpur section, Gandhi adopted, very important here, Gandhi not started, just adopted the non-cooperation movement and told that we are going to non-cooperate with the British government. We are going to non-cooperate, not to cooperate at any cost to the British government. It's still not started, it's just adopted because Gandhi took some time to explain what the non-cooperation to the British, to that our INC member. So Gandhi adopted the non-cooperation movement in 1920 December Nagpur section. Then when Gandhi began that non-cooperation movement is all about January 1921. Very important one mark question for you people. Then we will go to the next part, which will come as a 5 mark question. Question will be how non-cooperation movement spreaded in the town and why it is failure in the town. That are two different questions. Maybe it will be a combined question for you people. So the movement in the towns, if you see, means first we will see that how the movement spreaded in the town. First you will see the movement spreaded by the middle class people in the towns. Then thousands of students, they left the government controlled school and college. The headmaster and teachers, they resigned from their post because Gandhi told in the British institution we should not cooperate. That's why what are the British schools and colleges are there, the teacher and professor lectures, they resigned. The students, they also drop out from there. And who are the lawyers are there, they stop the legal practices. Then at the time I told in November 20 it's going to be council election. Council election also boycotted almost all part of the India except Madras. It's a very important point you have to remember. Other place you just see that Bengal provinces, Lucknow provinces, central provinces, every provinces the council election boycotted. But in the Madras provinces it's going on because there that is not only party election, there is something uprising of a new party that is known as Justice Party, who is fighting for the rights of the non-Brahmins, because as you know that in Madras provinces there is a huge difference, social difference in between Brahmins and a non-Brahmins. So 1 mark question point of view or 3 mark question point of view or 5 mark question point of view, it is very important you should know that only Madras, except Madras, in all places that council election boycotted. In Madras, which party that fighting for the rights of non-Brahmin, that is Justice Party, right? So Justice Party felt, that party of non-Brahmins felt that entering the council was one of the way to gaining the power to fight against the system of Brahmin, non-Brahmin and social upgrades. So you will make it just 1 point. First point is all about resignation of that teachers, lecturers, students and lawyers. Second thing is all about council politics. Everywhere it is boycotted, council election. Third point will be non-cooperation movement. Economical point of view, it is very dramatic. How you will find that the foreign goods are boycotted. No one use the foreign goods and especially cloth. Right, liquor shops are picketed, and in the chowks you will see that where maximum people gathered in the chowks and all, they gathered all the foreign cloth and burned in a huge bonfire, right? Fourth point is all about the foreign trade. The import of the foreign cloth became half. How we should know that in 1920 the import of foreign cloth was means expenditure was almost 1 or 2 crores, which decreased 57 crores in 1922. Means in 1 year that huge difference is markable, that people changed their mind against the British government. In many places merchant and traders, they refused also to make the trade with the finance foreign trade. So as the boycott movement spread, people began discarding the imported cloth, wearing the Indian clothes, production of Indian textile mills and handlooms, the went up, everything going on a right path. But after some days we found that this movement is not so strong in the towns. Now question mark is why. If all these things happen, that teachers, headmasters, lawyers, they gave up their schools, college and court, students also they left the school, election also stopped, they stopped use the foreign cloth, they stopped the trade, then why this movement was failure in the town? 3 reasons are there. See in the book, if you will read very carefully, you will find 3 reasons. If you will write 2 reasons, then in 3 mark question you will find only 2 marks, not 3 marks. So first question was that what are the main things we imported from foreign was the foreign cloth. So if they will not wear the foreign cloth, obviously they will wear the Indian made cloth, that is known as khadi. But at that time khadi was often more expensive, and then mass produced cloth, if you see in that from Britain, what are the clothes came from that British government, what are the cloth they imported, that is that machine made cloth, so that obviously it will be very cheap and a huge amount they can produce in a less time period. But in case of khadi, it's take lots of time and it's became very expensive, so that who are the poor peoples are there at the time, they can't afford to that costly khadi cloth. So slowly they started using the again that British cloth. Second reason, the teachers, the lecturers, the lawyers who left their school, obviously they have to join somewhere else, neither how they will leave their livelihood. That's why only they wait for a long time, and at the time alternative Indian institutions are also not there. So they wait for long time. When they not found any Indian institution to join to work, again slowly they trickle down to the British institution. Third, what are the economic situation of the people that decrease a lot, that they not mention here. You have to write what are the economic situation of the people when it's decreased. Then they started using or joining the British institution. They started doing the British trade and all. And what are the non-cooperation movement? It became failure in the town. Hope it's clear. Here a new word is here. They told now picketed the foreign liquor shop. Picketed means it's a form of protest, that people block the entrance of the shop, or they closed, or they locked. You can see all these things when any government told particularly burn or strike. You will find that particular party member, they are roaming on the street. They check all the shop, all the school and college closed properly or not. That is known as picketing, right? So first we know that this is the way that means that time the town people participated, and over that they got the failure for few reasons. Now we'll come to rebellion in the countryside. Countryside means village. How the village people participated in the non-cooperation movement. See here, from the cities the non-cooperation movement spreaded to the countryside. It drew into the fold of struggle of peasant and tribals. Obviously, what are the movements started in the towns that flow towards the village area. Here we will take a particular village name known as Awadh, which was in Uttar Pradesh, right? In Awadh, peasants were led by Baba Ramachandra, who was a sannyasi. In Awadh, which is a village in Uttar Pradesh, their peasants started movement with the leadership of Baba Ramachandra, who was a sannyasi. Sannyasi means saint, and previously he worked as an indentured labor in the Fiji island. Fiji is a name of an island. So in Awadh we saw the peasants started the movement. Why they started the movement, what were the demand, we will read it later, but first you should know that in Awadh peasants started a movement with the leadership of Baba Ramachandra, who was a sannyasi, and previously for long time period he worked as a indentured labor. Here indentured labor means you can take it forced labor, right? They will work for a long time with no wage or a very few wage. This is known as indentured labor. So the movement, now question was that why these peasants started the movement? Because the movement was against the talukdar and landlords. Talukdar means area head, right? Against the talukdar and landlords who demanded for the peasant exorbitantly high rents and variety of other cesses. So this movement was there against the landlords or talukdars because they increased the tax in a high rate. Understand? Next, second reason was there, peasant had to do the beggar. Here beggar means not the vik mangna. Beggar means the labor that villager has. This is also one type of forced labor, means they are forced to do the work without any payment. So the peasant in the landlord's farm, they told that you have to work as much as we want, but we will not pay anything. That is very illegal activities actually, beggar. So first thing, they increase the tax. Second thing, they force the peasant to do the beggar. And the third thing was there, as the tenant, they have no security of tenure and being regularly evicted, and so that they acquire no right over the lease land. See, in Bangalore people can understand very well, not the Bangalore student, all the means all over now this system is going on. Lease means suppose this is my house, I am not going to stay here, so for 5 years I will give lease to my colleague, that in for the 5 years you have to give me 5 lakhs, right? at a time, and after the 5 years I will keep some maintenance charges if he broke something and all, and what is the rest of the amount I will give it back. So at a time I will get 5 lakhs, means obviously it is a huge amount I can invest somewhere, right? So this type of system was going on maximum in the metro cities. Here that only they told that if I just gave someone that lease land, means till 5 year whatever they want to do they can do in that room, they will stay there, or they will give rent to someone else, or they will not stay there. That is not my clue. I gave 5 years, means that over after 5 years I will take them back because they gave 5 lakhs. But what happened at the time, a landlord, they will give land supposed to a farmer. That farmer gave that landlord 5,000 rupees for 2 years. But sometime before 2 years they will tell that no, you have to give my land back. One thing. Second condition, what happened, they have no right on the lease land, means landlord will tell that you have to produce rice here, means here the peasant have no rights, they will produce rice or wheat or mustard, they can't decide. Understood? That is also another problem. They have no security of tenure, they have no right over the lease land. That is the second thing, there became anger for these jamindars and landlords. So three things are there. One is they increase the tax or different type of cess. Second thing, they forced to do the beggar. And the third thing, all about there is no security over the leased land. LEASED, leased land. Understood? So this is the reason the peasant started the movement. Now question was that in that movement what they actually demanded, right? On this peasant movement they demanded reduction of the revenue, abolition of the beggar, and a social boycott of oppressive landlords. They told that what are the revenue or taxes are there, that should be reduced. Abolition of beggar, means what is the beggar forced labor system, that should stop. And social boycott of the oppressive landlords. Who are the oppressive, means you can take that very, means they want to means rule over the peasant. That type of oppressive landlords, they told that socially boycott them, don't give any social facilities to them. Even they made the nai dhobi band. Nai means who cut the hairs, barber. Dhobi means the washermen. These are the social facilities one person got in the society at that time in the village area. They told that don't give any service to these oppressive landlords. So these are the point you will write, what were the demand of the peasant in the Awadh. Then one more question was there. In June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru began back to village Awadh and talking to the villagers and told that we'll do something. He tried to understand what are the grievance and problem among the people. Grievance means problem, right? What were the problems, why these peasants are doing that movement and all. By October, the Awadh Kisan Sabha was set up and headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Baba Ramachandra and few others. At that time, people are so angry and so anxious to solve that problem. In 1 month, 300 branches open in different regions and nearby villages. So Jawaharlal Nehru came, assured that we will do something, and Awadh Kisan Sabha he made. And see here, their Awadh spelling is like this. And here what is the Awadh Kisan Sabha he made, that is the spelling is something different. When you are writing the answer, please just take care of this one, right? So when the non-cooperation movement began, right, it's began in January 1900 1920 or 30, when I told it's began in 1921, adopted in 20 but started in 1921. They expected that Gandhi or INC, they will do some major step to solve this problem. They waited a long, but nothing step is taken towards them. No step is taken toward the welfare of the people. So the peasant, they lose their coolness, and the peasant movement started in a very active way. How? You will see that as the movement spreaded in 1921, the house of the talukdar, the peasant, they started attack to the house of the talukdars and merchants. Bazars were looted. Bazars means market. And what are the grains or crops they hoarded, they stock in that granaries, they all looted. In many places, local leaders, to save themselves, they told that Gandhiji had declared that no tax, and Gandhiji also told that we are going to distribute the land. It's something like that. So many times for this answer they asked this same statement that name the Mahatma Gandhi was being invoked to sanction all actions and aspirations. That means what? The peasant, when they started attack or they started looting to the that grains, or they attack on their land and all, so many landlords they flee away, and some landlords are there to save themselves. They took the name of Gandhi and want to cool down the situation. That only they told that the name of Mahatma Gandhi was being invoked and to sanction all actions and aspiration. I hope this part is clear. Here also a important part from where you expect 3-mark question. In 1928, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel lead to the peasant movement in Bardoli. This one also a important map point. Bardoli is a taluka or block in the Gujarat. Against what? Against the increasing land taxes. This is also known as, that time it is also known as Bardoli Satyagraha. This movement was a success under the leadership of Vallabhbhai Patel. Due to this good leadership in the Bardoli Satyagraha, he named as at that time Sardar. The struggle was widely publicized and generated immense sympathy in many parts of India. Understand? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar he get from this leadership, he get from this Bardoli Satyagraha. Okay, here also in that paragraph wise questions are there. You will find the source B as paragraph. One time I saw in a phase test. On 6th January 1921, the police in the United Provinces fired at peasant near the Raebareli. So when this peasant movement was there, peasant they started their strikes. So in the United Provinces, they fired the peasant near the Raebareli. Raebareli is a place in the Uttar Pradesh. Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to go to the place of firing, but he was stopped by the police. So he was very agitated and angry, and Nehru addressed the peasant who gathered around him. So what was his address is written here. Please read it very clearly. He told to the peasant, behaved as a very brave man, calm and unfragile in the face of danger. I don't know how they felt, but I know what my feelings were. For a moment my blood was up. Non-violence is almost forgotten, but for a moment only. He told that I can't control myself. I can't be with the truth and violence. This is the situation. I want to react in a very violent way and all these things. He told you just read it sometime. Paragraph wise questions are coming from this part. Okay, next we will go to the tribals, right? This one maximum time I found that questions are coming from this part. Tribal people, here we are discussing a just like Awadh we discussing a particular village area in UP. Like that, when we are coming for tribal people, we are discussing about a particular area. So tribal peasant interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi, the idea of Swaraj, in yet another way. Gandhi told for Swaraj. They took the Swaraj in a Swatantra Bharat, right? A little difference was there. A communication gap happened at that time. How we'll find it? In Gudem hills of Andhra Pradesh, obviously tribal peoples are living in the hills and the forest areas. So in the Gudem hills of Andhra Pradesh, for instance, a militant guerrilla movement spreaded in the early 1920s. Why? That question will come. Why militant guerrilla movement was there in Gudem hills of Andhra Pradesh? Then region will be the forest law. The colonial government had closed the large forest areas, preventing people from entering the forest to graze their cattle, collect fuel and fruit. And first you know that forest people, tribal people, they totally involve their life and livelihood inside the forest. If they are bad, they are say no to enter in the forest, they can't collect that things, they can't graze their animals, then how they will live? First reason is that they became angry. Their livelihood became affected very badly, and they thought that that forest is their birthright, their traditional right. They will take bath there, they will die there, and they will live by depending upon the forest. They thought that that is their traditional birthright. They should use the forest as their own way. But government put the restriction there. That is the first anger they started the militant guerrilla movement. Militant guerrilla movement is a different type of warfare using the tribal weapons and tribal act of war. The next second reason why this militant guerrilla movement started is that these tribal people began to forcing them, that British government started forcing the tribal people to contribute beggar for road building, and the hill people revolted. They told that how without money they will do the beggar. That is one type of forced labor, and at the time road construction is not so easy also. Manually they have to do everything. So first their livelihood hamper, and second they are forced to do the beggar. Obviously they became angry and started the militant guerrilla movement. That movement was headed at the time by unflock hero, that Alluri Sitaram Raju, and he was another different kind of personality. Alluri Sitaram Raju claimed that he had a variety of special powers. What are the powers? He told that I know every type of astrological prediction, what will happen your future, what your graha nakhetra, all these things I can control and all. Very funny to say that he told that my body also bulletproof. If British government will put the bullet also, my body will grab everything, nothing will happen to me. And over that he told that I have a special healing power. If I'll touch, every type of disease will vanish. So as you know that tribal people are very simple hearted people. They believe upon the leadership of Alluri Sitaram Raju. They thought that he is a replica of God, he is something incarnation of God. And Raju also talked the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi. He was a great fellow, or you can take it great means follower of Mahatma Gandhi. He told about Gandhi, he told about how Gandhi told about the non-cooperation movement, and he told the people now you have to use the khadi instead of British made good. And also he influenced or motivated people to give up the drinking. But one thing was that at the same time he was not agree with the concept of non-violence. That Gandhi told that if anyone will beat on one cheek, you will show the another cheeks. He was not agree with that concept. According to him, means he was in the idea of a boss, that anyone is giving 1 to our cheeks, we should give 2-3 to others return, right? So he started the Gudem rebels, attacked the police station, attempted to kill the British officer also, and carried the guerrilla warfare for achieving the Swaraj. So as he was out of the law and order, so Alluri Sitaram Raju was captured by the British police and executed, got the death sentence in 1924. This is somehow how non-cooperation movement prevailed in the tribal areas. If we will come to how non-cooperation movement spread in the plantation. Plantation means tea, coffee, all these things are plantation type of cultivation done from that time period. So according to Inland Emigration Act 1859, that law says if any plantation worker joined to a plantation field, means till the plantation is not finished, or that there is no wish of the plantation employer, they can't back to their home, they can't contact, or they can't come for visit to their home. They should be stay there. When the employer, plantation owner will give the permission, they can move out, they can move to their village. Seriously, that is also not so good. If anyone want to come back and they told that no, you can't go. If I'll tell you students that whole day you will be here, you can't go to home, you will be in the classroom, obviously you will find the scared or away. What is this? We should go, we should fresh up, we should take rest. Why will I read whole night? Like that only one night you can stay. How they can live year after year, right? So plantation workers are not given the permission at the time to leave the tea garden, means plantation garden, or very rarely the employer giving the permission. So when this plantation worker, they listen about the non-cooperation movement, then 1,000 workers, they defied, they just ignored the authorities or administration or goodness of their employer, and they started coming to their home. They believe that now Gandhi Raj started, Gandhi came to the power, and if we will go back to the village, Gandhi will provide us land to do our own agriculture. There will be no difficulties. Gandhi time, Gandhi era came, we will get all the facilities. On that belief pattern, they back to their village. but they never reach their destination. That means they never reach their village, because due to the steamer and the railway strike, so many people they cut who came to the village, they caught by the police near to that railway station or port area, and they beaten up very brutally. Understood? This is all about how that non-cooperation movement happened in between that plantation workers, how they misunderstood the concept of non-cooperation movement. So you will find the vision of the movement were not defined the Congress program. They didn't explain actually, Gandhi and INC members, they not explain to everyone actually what was non-cooperation. The common people, they misunderstood actually what was the ideas and thought and stages and steps behind the non-cooperation movement, right? Gandhi told about Swaraj. People took the Swaraj in their own way. When they are suffering and trouble, they thought that this is the way they will come out. Just like this tribal people, Gandhi told Swaraj, and they gave the slogans like Swatantra Bharat, right? So now question was there that why Gandhi stopped or called off. See, called off means stopped only. Don't be confused here, right? Why Gandhi called off or stopped the non-cooperation movement. Gandhi started it in 1921 January, but in 1922, due to Chauri Chora incidents, Gandhi called off the civil disobedience movement. Chauri Chora was a place in the Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. A peaceful demonstration in the bazaar. It became very suddenly. It's turned into a violent clash with the police. A peaceful procession was going by the satyagrahis. Some police officer, they started the open fire to them. So the peaceful satyagrahis became so violent, and they closed the police station, and they killed so many police officers. Near to be 22 police officers died at that time. So hearing of this incident, Mahatma Gandhi found that violence is spreading on non-cooperation movement. That's why only he called off the civil disobedience movement. This question will be a 3-mark question, right? This is all about the part 2 non-cooperation movement. Very soon I will upload the civil disobedience movement, which is very important and little lengthy chapter for us. Okay, thank you class. This is all about today. Have a nice day ahead.